All right, I'm Adam Roberts, and I'm a software engineer and researcher on the Google Brain team. And I work on a project called Magenta, where we're exploring the potential for using neural networks and deep learning in creative activities, so creating music, creating art, and using it as a tool to augment human creativity. So InSynth Super is based on the InSynth algorithm. So InSynth means neural synthesis, where we're generating audio using a neural network. So I can give you a quick example of this. Starting with just kind of playing the model's interpretation of a snare drum. So you notice, first of all, that it's definitely not a very imperfect representation because, again, it is a neural network and it's compressing down the features of that audio. We can also listen to what it thinks a piano sounds like. But then we can slide this in the middle, kind of hear a new instrument that mixes kind of the attack of the snare with some of the harmonics of the piano. And then we can change, any of the corners here to get a different sound. One of the other parts of our project is releasing a lot of open source code. So we want other people to be able to use our models and create their own apps and interfaces with it. So we recently released Magenta.js, which is a JavaScript library implementing, again, a bunch of our models in TensorFlow.js. So I want to show you just a couple of examples of things that people outside of Google have actually built using that. So one is called Neural Drum Machine, which is built by Tero, who is a developer in Finland. And this is just a nice, simple example of what you can do with machine learning and music. We have here just the beginning of a drum beat, so we can hear just a couple of hits. And if I hit this autocomplete button, it's going to try to continue, the neural network is going to guess what the future of that drum beat might look like. So we can hit it again and get just different samples, kind of different options of drum beats that might start with the input we gave it. And there's a lot of variety in what it's going to create. And the model was trained by listening to a lot of real drum beats and kind of understanding the patterns of what a typical drum beat sounds like. And I can also add a few drum hits at the beginning, so make it a little bit more complicated input, and then see how the model interprets that.
We built this interactive floor here, which is basically a giant sequencer. When I step on the floor, you can see that this is a melody, and if I stand on it, it just loops playing back. And if a second person comes on, it makes a longer phrase, so it jumps between the two of us. We have like a 2-bar phrase rather than just the one. And all the melodies on the floor are created by machine learning based on what you program it to do. So if you come in here, we have these tablets, and I can draw a new melody on this tablet. And then what I draw goes onto the corner that I'm standing on down on the floor. You can hear my smiley face playing back. And then all of the tiles on the floor are new melodies created by this Magenta model that blend between what you program on the corners. So it's basically like a musical instrument where you can kind of like create the elements of what you want on this floor. It's like a melodic palette, kind of like painters blend paints on their palette. We're blending melodies.